Hi. Hi, everyone. I was not making more coffee. It was here. Flyby, Mike, hey, actually see. I have a new setup. Well, whatever, I'm trying it. I totally rearranged my room. So no more making videos from the bed, which is probably a good thing. There's probably, like, if you're not even supposed to watch TV in bed, it's probably not great to do work from bed. Ooh, Alaska, a moose. Hi. Oh, hi, EG. Hey. Hi, Brian. Flyby. I have my beverages. Don't worry, they're right here beside me. How's everyone doing today? I'm feeling really good. I have a lot of things to do, but I think I'm on top of it. My family's coming over, so there'll be like little ones running around, and I have to make sure I get everything done, or at least like as much done as I can, so that I can like fully give myself to them. And then maybe after they leave, I'll continue working a bit. Hi, Maddie. Just started work. Oh, that's so sweet. Bye, Fatal. You're doing better now. Oh, E.G. Okay. I'm glad she's gone and you're able to heal. Okay, you'll be here next week? I can't wait. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm gonna mark it in my calendar. New chair. This chair has always been, it just hasn't been featured. It's been sitting, neglected. I look pretty this morning. Thank you. I look okay. It's very dry here. Obviously, winter. So I'm doing the best I can to not like suck up like a raisin. Oh, no. No. It wasn't, it was like things I was going through. E.g. When you're going through something, everyone in your life at the time is kind of, you can't help but look at them and like at all the little circumstances in your life through the lens of that. Like everything just becomes symptomatic, but it's not actually the other people. It's not actually the circumstances. It's that like you're really kind of stuck seeing yourself a certain way and then believing that like this means that about you and this means that about you and this means that about you. So anyway, that's what it was. And I needed to pull away. Oh, well, I'm back. My voice is angelic. Thank you. Lithuania. Wow. Greetings. Yeah, it's time for a change of scenery. What am I drinking? I'm drinking my coffee with collagen powder and a touch of almond creamer. Am I still in acting? Yeah. I'm pursuing other things too, though. I'm writing a book, guys. I keep telling like part of me is like, don't tell people because like, what if you don't finish? But I keep telling people because I'm really excited by how it's going. Like it's just going really well, and more importantly, maybe it's so freeing. Like, I think this is what catharsis is. That sounds really funny because it's like I should just know it by now. But I'm like, oh, is this what everyone's been talking about? Is this why people do art? Oh, this is the thing. Yeah, it's just like every time I sit down to write, I feel like I leave something heavy. Not even heavy. It's just like I leave something behind. And I keep getting lighter and lighter and lighter. Is the cat face in the thumbnail your cat? No, I wish it was my cat. You will buy a few copies of my book? That's like, yeah. I mean, it's going really well. I'm just really happy with it. I don't know what it will be, but I also started doing this thing where I was inspired by a podcast to write 1,000 words a day. And so I was like, okay, I'll write 1,000 words a day. And I wasn't really sure what those 1,000 words would be, like what the project would be. And then kind of as a lark, I started something and then I just continued and I continued. And what's really cool about the 1,000 words a day, like I can go over, but I have to hit that, is like I can literally predict when this thing will be done, basically. Like I can like mark it on my calendar because I kind of know just based on like the word count that I'm going for. Which again, like, I think like a past me would be like, you shouldn't pre-decide how many words and it shouldn't matter how many words, but actually it's very nice to have a goal because just like with that in the back of my head, I can kind of see the shape of it, which I'm sure is like if I wanted to write the screenplay of like a 2-hour movie versus a 3-hour movie, I would shape it very differently. It looks like your cat. Okay. Oh, that's so nice. Bye, Brian. Go blonde and wear a white long dress? Is that in reference to something? I don't know. I've been thinking about going blonde. Or like I've been thinking about going like like, do you know like old money blonde? Does that mean anything to you? So it's like kind of like, it is very brown, isn't it? It's partly the lights. You know, kind of like that like dark Brooke Shields kind of blonde. Like that. You like me just the way I am. Okay, maybe I'll stay. I don't know. Thing is, I have virgin hair, and my hairdresser is obsessed with that. Like, it's just untouched. So, I don't even know if she would let me. No hair colors. Yeah, okay. Okay, fine. You're the boss of me. Look good for the summer, I guess. Oh, you're talking about like, well, I mean, I don't know. Blonde is the whole thing, isn't it? I feel like the fact that I'm not, like, I feel like brunette is a very distinct thing. Blonde is a very distinct thing. Being in the middle is like, well, it's a very distinct thing. But it means you're like neither black cat energy or like golden retriever energy. Does that make sense? You're neither. So what are you? What's the category for that? That's what I'd like to know. How about a song? Hi. Brian is the person. You guys are so sweet. Any hints? Like it's very, so, what will I say? It's written very much from like a younger perspective of myself. So it's very like free flowing, like just like free consciousness of thought, I guess. It's very free. Like I'm really trying not to be like literary, if that makes sense. And it's a little bit like magical realism. I don't want to get too much into like the subject material, but I don't know. I just really like it. I guess it's very much, so it's very much like from a teenager's perspective, but kind of about like all the idiosyncrasies that like shape in the mind that just like never get explored, like never see the light of day. And if like you were to actually expose them, you'd be like, oh, that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I'm trying to tell you what it is without telling you what it is. I'm trying to give you like the feeling of it and maybe the intention of it without giving the story away, without telling you anything about the story. Do I write poetry still? I don't write poetry so much, but I'd kind of like to continue. The nice thing about poetry is you can just like, it's just like, you can just like kind of jot it out and then put it out there. Like you can share it very quickly. That's what's great about poetry. So I'd like to get back into that, but your birthday was back on the 8th. My nephew's birthday is the 7th. Happy birthday, Capricorn. Janessa could sing. What? I missed this. Oh, I do remember doing that. Okay, you're getting a hint. Okay. Bye, Lenny. All right, like we're already 12 minutes in, so I'm gonna get into today's topic. But like I think the topic that I gave was like intentionally misleading because it's not like Shia LaBeouf just do it mentality. I just think we're really all over that. I think we're really all over the grind. And I actually watched the Huberman David Goggins podcast, or some of it. If any of you like David Goggins, it's really hard not to admire him. I really do admire him. And he has a lot of really, really good things to say. But if you've seen that podcast, he starts it off with like sharing kind of his own self-concept, which is like so harsh. It's so harsh. He's basically like, I suck at everything. Like just left to my own devices, I suck at everything. Everything is hard for me. He says this. Every single thing is hard for me. School is hard. Like doing anything is hard for me. Okay. And then he's like, so from that place, knowing that about myself, I have to like kick my ass into gear in order to accomplish anything. And he's also like, no one ever, I mean, maybe no one did. He's also like, no one ever believed in me. No one ever believed in me. Like everyone has that one person. No one did. No one had that. Like I had no one. So already he's establishing this like very like, you know, that hero, like that orphan child on his own who has to make it somehow with nothing and no one. And then he rises above and does what he does. But I think like if anything, if you look at what he's accomplished, like what he kind of stands for, it very much is that grind, that like you must overcome yourself. You must overcome yourself. And that's kind of really where I want this to go. which is like this whole idea that you have to overcome yourself, that like you're your own worst enemy and you're sabotaging yourself and you're like, oh, you're this like lazy, pathetic, sad sacked victim, blaming, guilting, shaming, critical creature, and you have to somehow like rise above this gremlin self that is you, and like trap it in a closet somehow or some way, and only then can you like accomplish great things. um it's very, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like this, it's very Catholic in its own way, like kind of like you're terrible, so you're a sinner, you're bad, you're bad, 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 and you must rise above. And I just want to like lay out another possible explanation to what's actually going on. I also want to get into like this idea of like what's holding you back. Like holding you back from what? What is that thing that apparently you're supposed to be over there, but no, you're being held back? What is that? I think in a lot of people's minds, if they actually like sit still and get quiet and like admit it, we all have these like ideas about who we're supposed to be at this moment in time, like in comparison to what we see all around us and what we see other people being and like accomplishing. We have this idea of like our potential, who we're like our true selves, and this is like who we're actually supposed to be by now, and if I wasn't sabotaging myself and if I wasn't holding myself back, that's who I would be. If I hadn't gone through all this trauma, if I'd had the support, if I'd had like, then I would actually be myself. I would be that thing over there, like my potential, my fully realized potential. And it's actually like a really sad mentality state to be in. And I'm susceptible to it. Like if I just kind of get quiet about that and I think about how it actually feels to be in my current life, who I currently am in life, and like that in contrast with what maybe I wish it was. Yeah, it's kind of, it's like toothache-y. It stings a little, it aches a little, it hurts. And it's disappointing. It's like every day you're just living in this disappointment. It's like you're not doing it, you're still not doing it, you're still not there. What are you doing? Why are you this and not that? Why are you this and not that? And we all have a parent inside of us. And I kind of think sometimes like the parent, like our inner parent, like we talk about inner child, like we have an inner parent. And our inner parent is often, I think, like the parenting we wish we had gotten. So imagine if like your parent was like this with you. Or if like you have children, or if you had a child, imagine if you were like this with your child, where you're just like still not living up to your potential. You're still holding yourself back. You're still like, basically it's like who you are is not acceptable. Where you are is not acceptable. You are a disappointment. You've brought shame on the family. You have brought shame. And you're like, you're so angry at yourself, at like your choices, at your actions, at like, it's just, you're not enough. You are unacceptable. You're failing. You're just failing. There's like this beautiful, shiny life that you get to live. And you know what? You're wasting it. You're wasting life. And maybe you don't even deserve life, because look at how you're spending your life. And it's just so hateful. It's actually so, so hateful. And so the holding you back thing, I just want to take a second and be like, what if like right now, this moment and who you are, what if that was the goal? Like, what if that was your highest potential? Like, I don't think anyone ever puts this as a possibility. Like, what if this is it? Like, this is like really the thing to aspire to. You did it. You made it. Like, you did it. You're here. Oh my gosh. Like, you were to tell a friend about your current life in every detail, and they'd be like, wow, that's incredible. Oh my God. I can't believe how far you've come to reach that. Like, you're living the dream. You're it. Don't forget also that, like, as society continues to evolve, like, we get higher and higher and higher standards. So in some ways, like, who you are right now actually is like past generations. Like, whoa, you made it. Whoa, your life is incredible. It's just that the standards keep going up. So with that, like, you made it. Suddenly there's like not this friggin' like self-hate. There's just like the possibility. There's the possibility of feeling good about yourself. Of actually feeling like satisfied. Of like, oh, this life is finally a meal that satisfies me. Actually, I can find that feeling of like, maybe I'm okay. Maybe I'm okay. Maybe I really, really am okay. And maybe there really are things that I can be proud of myself for. And maybe there really are people that support me. And maybe I'm really lucky to have found those people. And maybe I'm even responsible for having found those people and like attracted them into my life or something like that. And maybe the way I look and the way I speak and the way I articulate myself and the thoughts that I think and the feelings that I think maybe those are really, really good. Like, maybe my thoughts are really good. Maybe my feelings are really good. Maybe my self-awareness is actually really, really good. And I'm actually doing really, really good. And from that place, you kind of can start to like snowball in a completely different direction, because suddenly, like, you're with yourself. Like, you're a whole team. You're integrated now. And you're like, oh, maybe actually like the thing that I think has been like against me this whole time has really been working with me, for me. Like, maybe all the parts of myself are just for me. There isn't this like me versus me. Maybe it's me for me, always. It's me for me. And like the reason why I think these parts of me are sabotaging myself is because in a way I've just like assumed that they are, because they've been keeping me safe. They've been keeping me safe. But like, maybe you wanted that safety. Maybe you needed that safety. So, like, when people describe stress, you know, like modern day stress or anxiety, we're really quick to go to the like, evolutionarily speaking, we evolved from chimpanzees. And if there was a tiger, we would run away from the tiger. But now in modern society, there are no tigers, but we have bosses and we have responsibilities and we have jobs. And they're like, that's why you feel anxious today. Because like not enough time, I guess, has evolved. We still think we're like back on the savannah being chased by tigers. I like this voice. Okay, if that's true, like, can we all just be like, we literally, if that's true, we think we're being chased by tigers. We think there's tigers out there. And yet we still go to the office every day. Like, do you know how brave you are? Do you know how friggin' brave you are to go to an office of tigers? Have you acknowledged that at all? Do you know how brave you are to like take on work assignments or like raise children or like If you think the world is full of tigers, everyone's pretty damn brave and like getting by and doing it. If you really believe in the tiger mentality. Okay? And so the mentality usually that's like positioned or posited for like motivational videos is like like, yes, there's a tiger. Yes, there's a tiger. Yes, you're a piece of shit. And you have to face the tiger. And then you see like Goggins and you see all these other guys and you're like, wow, they like overcame the tiger. This is so like Rocky montage. I've never seen Rocky. Wow, they killed the tiger, basically. You know, they're warriors. Warriors. And I get it, that's very appealing. You know, and even effective. But I think then you're like always kind of like, there's tigers out there. And another possibility is just to like, maybe it's not a tiger. Like maybe you don't actually have to overcome so much because it's not a tiger. It's just a person who's like a lot more like if the boss is your tiger, whatever, in this analogy, maybe the boss is actually like kind of an extension of you. And that's all you've been trying to overcome. And again, if you're like, you're not your own enemy, then you don't have to overcome it. Like, what if there's nothing to overcome? I think maybe that's like not as sexy and appealing because we don't get to be like, but what if in a way, like it's just about maybe the thing that's like really scary actually isn't. And if you change your perspective on like a really, really, really deep level, like you kind of have to do it like from a visceral, like sensorial, like you can't just think your way out of it. Because again, we all like logically know it's not a tiger, but you have to like really get it, embody it, that like, and really get into a state where like you can see it completely differently. And from that place, then you're like, oh, okay. I have just framed the world in a certain way. I frame the world in a certain way. And this me that I think is sabotaging me at every turn is actually like my best friend, is my absolute greatest champion, and it has been trying to protect me and trying to keep me safe and trying to keep me alive like physically and alive like in an identity sense. It's my greatest ally. I don't have to overcome this aspect of myself. I don't have to like shame myself for all the ways I self-sabotage myself. I have to understand that like the self-sabotage isn't like, oh, it keeps like screwing me up. It's like, it's trying to keep you safe with the ways that you've been seeing the world, like with your terms, your rules. It's like you said, okay, self, like this little part of me, these are the rules of life. And these are the rules of me, meaning like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm really bad at. This is other people. Like you're setting all this out like a game, okay? And you're like, okay, so this. Got that? It's like a prompt for an AI. You're like, okay, got that? Okay, now we're gonna like go into this game and like you have to keep me safe. You have to make sure I don't die. So it's like, oh, okay. So it's gonna be like scanning the horizon for all the tigers, and it's gonna be like making sure that you don't step out of line with who you think you are, because that would mean an annihilation of the self. And it's gonna just be like keeping you in the world that you've created, that you established at the beginning of the game. It's like, right, that's what it is. Like it can't decide it's something else until you decide. And then once you do that, and you're like, okay, we're gonna change the game. We're gonna change the game, and I know this is gonna be like a little crunchy at first, because I've told you to keep me safe in accordance to these things. But like now I'm gonna change it where actually like I'm not this person, I'm this person now. And so there's gonna be some like, what? Like it's gonna have to, there's gonna be some trial and error as it tries to get to know the new you, because now there's like so much programming. But again, it like desperately wants to help you. It wants to go along with you. But you have to be the boss. It's not the boss. That's crazy, crazy, crazy to think that it's the boss. Because it's like your faithful servant protecting you and keeping the game like real in a way. So you have to like change it. You have to recode it. And you have to be the boss, meaning that like if it throws something at you from the old story, you can't be like, well, I guess that's what it is. And I guess that's just how my life is. I guess this is just what I'll be dealing with for all of time. And it also makes no sense either to be like, I will, like, I hate you, and I will, like, it's just, it's trying to help, it's your servant, it's trying to help you. So instead you're like with a little kid almost, or like a really stupid robot, you have to be like, okay, I know that's like, I know, again, you thought we were doing that. No, we're doing something different now. And you have to keep with the prompts, like, I know, that's really cute. That's really, really cute that we're still playing that game, but we're not actually playing that game anymore. And I really appreciate that, but like, that's not what we're doing. And it'll keep trying to please you in that way if you keep being the adult in the situation, if you keep being like the boss, the guiding force, the guiding light, like you're the visionary. It's just Wozniak. it's just creating the reality for you. Okay, but you have to keep streaming in like your concept, your desired concept of what life is and what you are. And from that place, like, it's holding you. So like, to get back to the topic of this, you know, like what's holding you back is actually like holding you in a fixed reality and like a fixed self-concept, and like it's holding you in something that you've established for yourself. And it will equally hold you in something new. Like that's wonderful. It will keep that alive for you if you really establish that. That won't slide away. If you really establish that, again, it will hold you there. It will like support you there. And from that place, you can keep making those adjustments. And you're like, oh, okay, I get to be here. And that's kind of nice. And you kind of sit on your perch. And then you're like, you know what would be really great? And you just keep making these adjustments and these adjustments and these adjustments, the way that anything continues to evolve, right? Like your life should continue to evolve based on what you see is like is possible and is kind of interesting and kind of exciting. You should be like if you think of your life more as this like this like creation, this game, this like this app, this I hate all the technology metaphors, but I can't think of anything. If you're just like, yeah, this is pretty good, but what if we do this? And you just keep making those adaptations, and you keep being the boss, and you trust that that thing is a servant. And yes, it's gonna kind of fight you, because again, it's like supposed to. It's supposed to like not let things rock the boat. It's supposed to keep you alive in the life that you choose for yourself. It's supposed to sustain that. But also, as you maybe like create that like you change a lot, it will get used to that too. If you keep like updating and updating and updating, it will be like, oh, okay, we update a lot. Oh, okay, I have to be more fluid. Oh, okay. Like it will loosen as you decide that it should. You know what I mean? And the more that you like feel less threatened in life too, like imagine like you're really, really freaking out. Like you're like just in a stress response all the time. it will be like, okay, she's like really fragile. We really have to protect her. And so life will get smaller. Like, because it's kind of like clamshell, and it's gonna like, okay, we're gonna like drop the drawbridge. We're gonna protect her right now while she's feeling really fragile. And it's not like, oh, I can't believe that like I'm not doing all these things that I'm supposed to be doing, and why do I do this to myself? Like, no, you're saying, like, everything about you is saying like I can't handle things. So it's trying to minimize those. And as you can come into like a more like a place where you can like actually breathe and actually handle things, and you actually feel like good and strong and capable, it will start opening that back up, because it's like, oh, okay, we can be more fluid, we can be more expansive. Reality can be bigger based on who she is now. She can handle more. She's telling us she can handle more with everything she's doing, with everything she's feeling, with everything she's thinking. She's telling us it can be bigger. She hasn't told us that yet. Like, I really think you can't always think your way out of it. You can't beat yourself. Like, action helps. But you can very easily like fall into the trap of taking massive action like from the old identity and the old state, and then you're just kind of like, cool, I climbed Everest, but I'm the exact same person. And at the end of the day, like, I didn't really enjoy it, and I didn't really care that I did it. It just seemed like something I should do, because so I could say like I did a really hard thing. And I guess I learned that like, yeah, I can do really hard things, but maybe I already knew that. Maybe I'm kind of tired of forcing myself to do hard things. And so massive action it can like really shake things up. But I think there can be like nuanced work where you're actually like, sometimes I think the biggest, hardest work is like, I don't want this to sound cheesy, but I think it's like self-acceptance and self-love. I think that can be like the biggest, that is the biggest thing you could ever do. That is the biggest thing. If you actually go into that, if you go into like all the places that you think you're a terrible, terrible, terrible human being, go into all of that, and like a Chinese finger trap, if you just like, you gotta think about like what you've been doing your whole life. If your whole life you've been going like this, and it hasn't been working, your whole life, and maybe you've gotten like some successes, but like at the end of the day, like you don't feel good, you don't feel right. You get out by pushing in. You actually get out by pushing in. And then you're actually free. And then you kind of don't know what's next, but you know that you're free. So what does this all mean? The problem is you. Everything in your life is about you. And not. But you think it's about you. And that's the problem. Is you see yourself in everything. And you're really, really, really trying to manage this little self. And you really, really think you have to. You really, really do. So if there's something that you want, if you want more from yourself, if you want more from your life, firstly, like look at that, feel into that. What is that like? Like, really, is that the best place you can be coming from? Is it really the best place to be like Goggins and be like, I suck? Sometimes it is, okay? Sometimes like that's where you are. And if you respond well to that, okay. You know, because there's something very like realist about that. There's something very stoic about that. Sometimes that is. But like, is it the only way? No. So the holding you back, get really clear on like what it is you're being held back from, and whether that's like actually something you want, and whether like you being really disappointed in yourself is the best way to get there. And then try to figure out why you're here. Like, why are you in your present circumstance? And why is that, like, if you have this little servant that's like, yes, okay, we will build this beautiful life for her just the way she likes it. Like, why do you have the current life that you have? And don't see it as like, I'm so bad. Like, what if this was the best thing? This was like nirvana. This was utopia. Your current life, because it's exactly the way you decided it would be. It's like it's fulfilling some mission. And then from that place, okay, I want to reprogram it. I want to try some new things. I want to rearrange the scenery. What can I do? And just like start playing with it. Just be playful with it. It's not so serious. Just be playful with it. I know this is funny, like, but I was thinking about, for a while, I really didn't like my hair. Like, it was too short. And I was obsessive about my hair. I just, like, I couldn't go anywhere without feeling, like, really, really, really just self-conscious about it. And I would, like, constantly need to go to the mirror to kind of, like, check it and, like, confirm that, oh, no, it's still, like, I still hate it. I had to do that, like, every half hour. Like, oh, yep, yep, there's, still don't like it. Okay. And then I would, like, go back to my friends or whatever and feel bad about myself and, like, and then, like, get up again. Just, like, repeat this process over and over and over. And when you're in that state, you're like, okay, I want to grow my hair out. I want to, like, fix my hair. And you're constantly, like, trying to find ways to fix your hair. And I don't know exactly what happened, but, like, I stopped doing that. And as I was, like, thinking back on this, I was like, so for instance, if someone was like, how do you grow your hair out? What would I tell them? And my piece of advice would be, like, whatever state your hair is in, get it to a place that, like, you like it well enough. Like, it's decent. You're not constantly needing to fix it. Like, you're not self-conscious about it. It's maybe not exactly what you like dream of. It's not like your dream hair or whatever it might be for you. Like, it's not what's on your Pinterest board, but it's like, it's good enough that, like, you kind of like it. Because what happens when you get that is, like, you kind of relax. You kind of relax and you stop obsessing about it. And you kind of start to feel good about yourself. And from that place, like, it just really changes the way that you treat your hair and you treat yourself. And all these other things kind of flood into your life. Like, all of these other, I don't know. It's not that, like, you let it go. It's that, like, you stopped hating it. That's what you need to let go of. And so, like, with my hair, like, I made, like, certain choices along those lines, you know, not really knowing I was doing that until it got to a place where I kind of just, like, I kind of liked it, and then it grew. And it's really healthy now. So it's weird. It's almost like, I don't know how I grew my hair out. It just kind of happened because I kind of started liking it. And I think if you do that with anything, it'll work. If you just kind of get it to a place where like, you don't hate it. It's all right. You're okay with it. And then you have like freedom. Then you can do things. Then you can be a full person again. Okay, so I'll probably be here for like, well, I'll be here for a few more minutes if anyone wants to say anything or ask me anything. Yeah. Acceptance goes so far. It's just like allowing yourself. Acceptance is like really a selfish act. It's just like allowing yourself to be okay with yourself. Even the acceptance of others ultimately is like allowing yourself to feel good in spite of that other person, you know? That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Oh, that's great. On blue intrusive, sorry, I just read blue intrusive thoughts. Are they color coded? Intrusive thoughts. I mean, first of all, phrasing them like that, I know what you mean. But it's like, the thoughts are here. Like, they're intruders. It's just a thought. They're not intrusive. You wouldn't be like, it's that the thought's scary. That's why you're calling it intrusive. It's that the thought's scary. That's why. Meaning that, like, if you had a random thought, like, I wonder what Zac Efron is doing right now. Like, you wouldn't think of that as an intrusive thought. You'd just be like, that was a weird thought. Like, shower thoughts, like, that's not intrusive to you. Intrusive thoughts are threatening to you in some way, and that's why they're like triggering. You're like, oh no. So like the Chinese finger trap thing, I would actually lean into the thought. I would lean into it. Meaning, like, can you get unbothered by it? And there's lots of different ways to do that. One way might even just be like, even though I'm thinking this right now, I still love myself and I still accept myself and I'm still okay. Even though I'm thinking this, like, you can kind of distance yourself also. This is a trick I learned, which is like, what's it called? Kind of separating yourself, like creating degrees of separation. Meaning you can, like in your head or even like out loud, you can be like, I'm thinking this. So by putting thinking in the sentence, you're separating yourself a little bit. And then you can take that even one step further and you can be like, I'm noticing that I'm thinking this. And then you can like take it one step further and be like, I wonder why I'm noticing. Like, you can take it as far back as you want. And then suddenly the thing becomes much more like glued to your face. Much more like it loses its reality in a way. If it becomes this after effect of all these different observations. Cool. Okay. There's some intrusive thoughts that can be difficult to deal with. Yeah, I get that. Again, I would love it if like you didn't have to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? Like I think sometimes we think it's our job to like manage ourselves. Like, okay, there's all these things that I do and these anxieties that I have, and I have to like like we're kind of like guards at the gate. And I do think you have to like take it step by step and create a feeling of safety for yourself. Like, I think that's more than anything what it is like creating safety within yourself. Meaning, like with that parent again, like if you actually develop a relationship with that like inner parent, that like it has your back, like you are safe within yourself, because it's like it's got you. Then OCD thoughts, like again with a child, like how would you be with that child? You would be like, okay, all right, you're thinking that, okay. And even if it was like, no, but I need to do this and this and this, and it like did those things, you'd be like, okay, all right. And as you keep doing that, what actually happens is like the stress would go down. Like I think OCD, probably a lot of things just come from like fear and like trying to control and trying to like, and then it kind of builds on itself. Like I have to manage this and this and this and this and this because I'm not safe. So as you continue to like create that safety within yourself, and by safety I just mean that like no matter what, you're okay and you're accepted and you're loved and you're valuable and you're worthy. Like all the things that it actually takes to be okay. If you're really honest with yourself and you really think about like what would it take for me to feel okay right now, and give that to yourself. A free soccer kid. Shout out. What position are you? I was a forward. Yeah. Doesn't reflect you as a person. I think like thoughts can be tools in a way. Like I think you can kind of decide what you need in the moment, and if the thought's really like damaging, you can be like, that's just a thought. But if you want, you can kind of be activated by a thought too, and you can like choose the thought. You know what I mean? It's about like which thoughts you, if you're really, really completely neutral around a thought, you're like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But like on the opposite spectrum, you know, like there are thoughts that are like, that just feel really good. And you don't want to be like, I don't care about that thought. Like sometimes you want to lean into a thought. What if it was a thought like I love my child so much? You wouldn't want to be like, that's just a thought. I don't really love my child that much. Like, so it's just about recognizing the ones that you want to kind of like, to be, the ones you want to be sensitive for. And the ones like, you're like, I'm just going to take my pricklers out of that one. Because that's kind of, we've done that. You're forward too? That's great. I bet you're amazing. You probably are. Like if you're like the soccer kid, you must be good. I'm just assuming. Hi, Masood. Wait. No, I'm not gonna try to say your other name. Hi, David. Negative thoughts are very harmful. Yeah, If they have power over you, yeah. You are. I knew it. How could you not be? Do you have trophies? Okay. Is there anything else? Otherwise, I'm gonna go. You have trophies. That's good. You guys are really, really wonderful. I just want you to know that. Like, I'm quite, yeah, I'm quite touched by how wonderful you all are. Swell. You're welcome, Matthew. I'm back. It's raining. Oh, Maddie, where are you? I love the rain. I'll trade my snow for your rain. Am I doing a live stream? Yeah. Next week. Yeah, I'm just gonna do these every Saturday unless something comes up. So, I believe I'm okay. Tennessee. I think you've told me that before, and I'm sorry if you have. Okay, thanks, Mars. All right, I have a lot to do today, so I'm gonna go. I love you guys so, so, so much, and I'll see you next time. Good, I'm glad you got out of that finger trap. Okay, bye.